What's going on YouTube? JTReborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Red Hood Part 2, or Issue 2, or whatever you want to call it. So yes, another Gotham War-based tie-in. This one is written by Matthew Rosenberg, who also wrote the first part of the Red Hood thing, which felt very disconnected from the rest of the Gotham War. And this one feels... in that way, yes. They also reference Gotham War heavily in all the different issues. In fact, he keeps jumping around. Oh, this was set here, this was set there. I mean, this issue is set kind of like during, after, before, like, the other, like, Batman, Catwoman issues we've kind of gotten so far. So it jumps around quite a bit in that regards. But the whole Gotham War, like, Bruce Selina thing feels a little bit more like an afterthought in some ways. I mean, the main focus of this is, like, Jason's looking for Scarecrow and he's looking for Joker, and we have all those shenanigans kind of going on. Rose Wilson also makes a brief appearance in this issue. She wasn't in any other issue of Gotham War, but she is here. She is Jason's ally. I guess they're like a couple or something. When did that happen, though? I feel like I kind of missed something. I know beforehand Jason was with Artemis, if you will, or they kind of will they won't they, and to be honest, I actually kind of liked him with Artemis better than I do Rose Wilson. Not that I hate Rose Wilson, I think she's a pretty good character too, but the stuff with Jason and Artemis was just far better than anything with him and Rose. So I don't know who thought, hey, let's kind of throw this Red Hood and the Outlaws thing away and then just kind of move on to this thing with them. I mean, granted, they do have some history, and there's other Elseworld stuff like Deceased, which is kind of like pushed that even further, but I mean, come on, the Artemis thing was better. But anyway, so Jason's off, he's doing his thing, he's trying to find out like what happened to one of the guys he like kind of got like felt a little bit responsible for killing, or getting killed or whatever. It's still him and Selina. They're still kind of bickering about their sort of things going on. The Gotham War storyline is just, I mean, this one feels like kind of out of place with it, if you will, because it doesn't really seem concerned about that whole like conflict with that and Vandal 7. That feels kind of like in the background. Like this feels like it's kind of off like a side story that's just branching off and connecting to other storylines. It's referencing the Joker, that current Joker book that's going on. Now, I read the first Joker book by Tiny in it or whatever. Wasn't like, but it was more of a Jim Gordon book. I didn't really bother with the second book at all because I'm like, I read too much Batman half the time, and I'm like, I just don't feel like reading another Joker book if it's not really gonna be Joker focused. So there's references to that. So as somebody who hasn't been reading that, I have no idea like what's kind of going on in that particular storyline. I've been trying to read some of the main Batman books, and that book's been kind of like an afterthought, if you will. But anyway, so Jason's there. Him and Rose are kind of working on something, trying to get some clues on things. He tells her to kind of wait for him later on. And of course, we also go back to like some of the other events that we've seen in other issues of Gotham War, like when Batman fought Jason and he pretty much like stabbed him in the brain or something like that, made him completely like fearful of things forever. And we also reference like before and after, like he like was getting offered immortality and all that other shenanigans going on, and Joker's off doing his thing. He's kind of mad that Jason's not here because he needs him for his plan. Or is it really the real Joker? I don't know. They kind of make some reference to something. So I'm just going to say it's Joker for right now. But Jason, of course, is petrified, covered in fear. He tries to save a kid. Scarecrow comes in, and he's kind of mad because like the fear toxin and all that wasn't his doing. Joker kind of does the same thing. They do get into a bit of a scuffle, and Joker seemingly kind of wins here. But then Joker is kind of mad about the whole situation because he needs him for his plan. So he's going to try to find some way to cure him and then kind of use him for later on, if you will. It is kind of like just something going on. I mean, even the issue when it kind of ends, it's like to be continued in Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Scorched Earth, and then it's also going to be like concluding the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 12. So yeah, like, I mean, for something that's tied to Gotham War, it's like, oh hey, you got to read this other comic book thing that's not technically really like part of Gotham War. I just don't really get why we needed this to tie into Gotham War in really any capacity whatsoever. If it's like more so focused on this stuff with Joker and all that, save that for that other book, at least in my humble opinion. So because it's like Gotham War has these set issues that it's referencing that are like tied into this particular storyline, and then now it's saying, oh, I got to read this other thing to kind of get the full like, you know, Gotham War conclusion, or this storyline with Red Hood and that. So now I got to go check out something else, which wasn't listed as part of the Gotham War event. So I don't know. I just feel like this Batman, Catwoman, like the Red Hood Gotham War thing, it wasn't like all that exciting, if you will. I feel like the Gotham War tie-ins make it feel a little bit messier in some ways. The artwork is decent for the most part, and I guess it was kind of cool to see Rose pop up briefly. I didn't really expect that because she's not featured in anything else with this whole Gotham War thing. I mean, again, we're still kind of referencing some of the stuff that just feels kind of nonsensical, like when Batman just does, like, he pretty much petrifies Jason Todd and kind of leaves him like out to dry or whatever with the whole 0 and off thing. So I mean, I wasn't a fan of that. It just wasn't really working for me, and I don't think it's really working for a lot of other people. You still got the stuff with him and Selena, which I mean, there is kind of one funny moment here where he's just like, because it would piss Bruce off about this whole thing, she's like, well, that didn't hurt at all. So it's like this whole like fiasco, like this war between Batman and Catwoman has just been kind of like bleh. I mean, the reasoning behind it is kind of ridiculous. They could just have a conversation, which would probably like help things. But I mean, Selena's plan is really quite stupid. I mean, I feel like when I like between all the tie-ins and all that, it doesn't really feel like there's one real kind of singular vision with Gotham War. I mean, each writer kind of brings their own thing to the table, obviously, but it just feels really kind of disconnected from one another, if you will. Like, it tonally does not really like mesh well within this ongoing storyline. Like, you read what's going on with Rosenberg stuff, like the way it's kind of written there, it feels like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't mesh well with some of the other stuff that's going on. That's all I'll kind of say and kind of leave it at that. But I mean, some of this other stuff, it's just, I don't know, like bringing Joker in this thing. I guess if you're reading the other Joker book, I'm sure it ties into it a little bit better. But if you're just kind of reading like the Gotham War storyline, it just feels like, why is Joker coming into this thing now? Do we really need him in this storyline? So, I mean, I feel like this should have been something that was just part of the Joker stuff. I mean, you probably should have just omitted it from the whole Gotham War, like tie-ins and all that. I don't think it was really all that necessary. I mean, I still get the main Gotham War stuff and Batman and Catwoman. I mean, like, what else am I really learning here? Like, Jason's going to have something to do with Joker? That could have been saved for, like, the Joker book, if you will. I don't think it really was necessary for Gotham War, if you will. So, but, hey, it is what it is, I suppose. I just thought this issue was just kind of there. It really didn't do too much for me. Didn't really excite me all that much. Wasn't really, like, super angry or anything like that. It's just kind of an issue that kind of comes and goes. Wasn't the last issue, too, when it was him and Stephanie, like, finding those bodies as well? Like, where's the follow-up to that? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I feel like the Red Hood stuff in this Gotham War stuff, you don't really need to read it to kind of get the main storyline. It feels, like I said, like a little side story that also is tying into like several other books, if you will. So, I mean, I guess if you're like, maybe it makes a difference if you read the Joker stuff that's going on right now, the Man Who Stopped Laughing or whatever. But if you haven't really read that, like I have, because I just kind of just gave up on like the Joker stuff after covering that entire other Joker book, maybe it reads a little bit better. But as it stands, it's just kind of like, it just exists to me. Like, it doesn't really like wow me or anything like that. It's just sort of there. So that's all I really have to say about this one. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all the other fun stuff. And I still got some more comic book reviews. I got to catch up with Detective Comics. There's Tales of the Titans, and then there's 3 comic books that I missed last week. So lots of stuff to talk about. But I will see you all later. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Peace out. Goodbye.